Hello, it's Nancy today, still out here driving. I think there's a reason I forget things. I think I forget things when I don't pay attention. If I'm doing something and I'm thinking about other things and I'm really not paying attention to what I'm doing, then I'll forget that I did that. Now that'll happen all kinds of places. You can drive through towns and you never notice that you've been in those towns because you're busy thinking. You're driving, you're watching the road and all that, but it's pretty routine. Or when you put something down and then not be able to find it, it's because you weren't paying attention. Well, me anyway, not paying attention to where it was. And I noticed that with other people, that when their mind is on other things and I tell them something, they'll forget what I told them. And same thing, they'll forget that they told me. Well, I don't know how that works, because you have to be paying attention and talk about it. Oh well. And part of it is just that, as we age, our brains, our memories don't work so good anymore. They're stuffed full of stuff. You'd think that we exercise our memories so much. You ever hear that little ditty? It's called Why Study? The more you study, the more you forget. The more you forget, Why study? The more you study, the more you know. The more you know, the more you forget. The more you forget, the less you know. The less you know, the more you study. So why study? I used to have some of my own ideas about studying for a test. I figured that if I didn't know it already, then cramming it for an exam was not really going to better things in the long run. In the long run, I would just have wasted that time studying hard, but I wouldn't have learned anything more, and the test would not really reflect my knowledge of the situation. Of course, if you want to do it to get through school and to get good grades, well, studying is very important. I used to study very hard. Sometimes I didn't need to study. Sometimes I knew stuff. Sometimes it was hard. I have 2 courses left to finish university. Do you realize that? I never finished. I was busy traveling back in those days. And then I got married, and that was the end of school. And then when I got divorced, I went back to school in Canada, and I finished. My schooling was at the University of Georgia. And so then I went back to school, and in Canada, in psychology. And in Canada, because there's grade 13, you only need 3 years of school, of university. But now there's only grade 12, but you still only need 3 years of university. Anyway, so I lacked 2 courses to having a BA in psychology. So I call that a BAA. I have a BA almost. It would be a BA in arts eventually. An arts degree. When I was in Georgia, I met somebody who majored in fiber arts. I think that was a great thing. Maybe that was fabric. I don't know how fabric, I'm not interested in fabric as much as... I took a textiles course once, and it was all about these synthetic fibers, all the different kinds and what they were, and that wasn't really my idea of fiber. Now I'm into all the plant fibers. I'm a big harvester, I harvest all kinds of stuff. I'm not very good at harvesting the vegetables in the garden that are supposed to be harvested, but I'll go in the woods and I'll harvest the birch bark off of logs, and whenever I cut a cedar branch or something, I'll harvest all the bark off it. Well, maybe not all the bark. Anyway, there are definitely harvesting qualities in my life. Nettles, better go. Goodbye. You heard it here last. I liked my hats. I can't find my hats. They're all kind of a mishmash everywhere. I have to find them and organize them again, figure out what hat goes with what clothes, and then I know what to put on with what. This I used to wear, so I know which hat goes with this. But I think the hat got left outside for the winter. I think it might have been in my car and I moved to take care of my mom, and when I got back, it had been put in the carport, which then collapsed, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, I gotta go. Bye.